Good morning. Welcome to the 2020 Business Meeting and Awards presentation. This format was certainly not how we planned to address the SSP membership, but as they say, the show must go on. When I was installed as the 32nd president of SSP in San Diego last year, I never could have imagined the disruption brought to SSP. The annual meeting and other in-person events organized by SSP are important not just for our continued education and networking, but also revenue for SSP. The board held a strategy meeting last week where we reviewed the existing strategy and prioritized activities in the short term. When planning to look forward, it's helpful to also take a look back and see where we are with important initiatives. With that, I want to spend a minute or two going over some key accomplishments from this past year. One of our strategic goals is to expand our reach and membership by partnering with other groups. We expanded our relationship with Charleston Conference in several ways. We also hosted a seminar and breakfast again at the Frankfurt Book Fair and a pre-meeting event with UKSG. The New Directions seminar in the fall is quickly becoming a must-attend event and proved to be an excellent test case of hosting a virtual event. Members hosted watch parties in their offices and engaged with in-person attendees via chat and Twitter. Disseminating content is important to the mission. We achieved this goal through webinars, the Scholarly Kitchen, videos from past meetings, Learned Publishing, and the Remember newsletter, among other things. This past year, the Funders Task Force, under the direction of co-chairs Adrienne Stanley and Liz Allen, brought together publishers, funders, and librarians to encourage collaboration. They'll be hosting a meeting of this group at a later date. A significant milestone was achieved this year with the Generations Fund. The board approved the plan presented by the Philanthropic Fund Task Force for the creation of an endowment fund to support activities such as our popular fellowship program. SSP has hired a director of philanthropy and changed the name and charge of the development committee to the advancement committee. They are taking on the task of launching the Generations Fund and the fundraising activities. To ensure its success, SSP seeded the Generations Fund with $100,000. You will surely be hearing more about this opportunity to support the Generations Fund soon. Before I move on to recognizing our many volunteers and introducing you to the new board, I want to thank you all for being members and for giving me the opportunity to serve in this capacity. It's been a highlight of my career in this industry, and I could not be prouder of all that was accomplished. As we look at the list of past presidents, I'm very honored to be joining this list of esteemed colleagues when my term ends at the end of the month. I want to recognize our past presidents, many of whom still participate on committees as Scholarly Kitchen chefs, as mentors, and as speakers at our many events. The SSP founding board members had the vision for an organization that would serve as the crossroads where publishers, librarians, and researchers would engage in improving scholarly publishing. We recognize them for their leadership and our vision that got us here. I can't even begin to express my gratitude to the committees and especially the committee chairs that rose to the challenge of doing the work that makes SSP great. These volunteers spend extra hours curating and developing content, imagining and launching new products and events, providing oversight to the core functions of SSP, and provide opportunities for career development and engagement. We'll be hosting a Get Involved webinar on June 8th, where you can learn about the functions of each committee and hopefully choose to apply to participate. I would also like to take a moment to thank David Crotty for his continued service as executive editor of the Scholarly Kitchen and Letty Conrad, the North American editor of Learned Publishing. Both TSK and the Journal are valuable resources, not just for SSP members, but everyone with an interest in scholarly communication. Literally none of what we do would be possible without the SSP staff under the leadership of our executive director, Melanie Dolacek. This team of amazing women elevate the reputation and professional nature of the organization, ensuring that SSP is a global leader in scholarly communication. I want to express my personal thank you to all of them in supporting me during my term in leadership, but also thank them on behalf of all the board members, committee chairs, committee members, and the membership as a whole. With that, I want to turn this over to SSP Secretary and Treasurer Byron Laws, who will present the financial report. Byron?
Hi, everybody. Byron here. Appreciate you joining today. It's been quite a year, and we have a new treasurer coming in. Would like to welcome Emily Delkey to the treasurer role for 2020 and 2021. Looking at the results for 18 versus 19, what you'll see here is not an awful lot of shift from year to year other than in total assets. We grew a little bit on the investment portfolio side. Our revenue stayed fairly flat year on year, and our expenses were also very similarly flat. The bottom line operating surplus there, though, is really an amazing number to me, and represents, I think, what we might call a minor miracle. As you might recall, we shifted over from a management company to a self-managed approach, and Melanie and the staff have really had to jump through a lot of hoops this last year. We didn't know going into the last year what the budget would look like, frankly. We had made some plans, but then those plans were all turned upside down. So we are in good financial condition, even with the recent health pandemic, and looking very strong going forward. Anybody who has any questions, please contact me after the meeting, and I'll be happy to answer those. It should be noted also that all SSP members have access to financial documents and statements by virtue of your membership. So thank you very much, and I'll turn back to you guys.
Thank you, Byron. It has been my absolute pleasure to serve with Lauren Kane, Adrian Stanley, and Byron as officers of the Board of Directors. I want to thank them for their time and for their leadership of the board in this past year. Joining us are the members at large, including Hillary Corbett, Robert Harrington, Lisa Hinchliffe, Elizabeth Lorbeer, Rebecca McLeod, Allison Muddett, Laura Ricci, Isabel Thompson, and Miranda Walker. Each year, the board is refreshed with new representatives selected by the members. On behalf of the membership, I want to thank outgoing board members, Hillary Corbett, Robert Harrington, Byron Laws, Adrian Stanley, and Isabel Thompson, and thank them for their service, their advice, and their leadership on the board. I'm excited to introduce our new board members. We welcome members at large, Meredith Adinolfi, Gabe Harp, and Sai Konda. Emily Delkey will serve as treasurer. And last but not least, Alice Meadows will rejoin the board as president-elect. I look forward to all the good things to come from this new board. Congratulations to you all. And now it is my pleasure to introduce incoming president, Lauren Kane. I've gotten to know Lauren better in the past 12 months and have seen her leadership in action. I'm very excited to be handing the virtual gavel over to her. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Angela. I want to take this opportunity to recognize Angela for her service and leadership during this challenging year. If we were all together in Boston, I know there would be a rousing ovation at the business meeting and many, many toasts at the president's reception. But unfortunately, that's not possible this year. It's not the celebration that Angela deserves, but I hope you will all take this opportunity to thank her in the chat box for all that she has contributed and continues to contribute to SSP and the scholarly communications community. I'll start by saying that for me, the honor and expectation of the SSP presidency is only increased by succeeding Angela. Many of you see her public contributions and thought leadership through the scholarly kitchen, but what you may not have seen is how ably she has led the SSP board and supported the organization through such a complicated time. And she has done it with good humor and grace and always with a spirit of partnership. Angela, we are lucky to have you, and I personally thank you for being a trusted colleague, mentor, and friend. As we look ahead at the coming year, I join you in hoping for a return to normalcy and all of the wonderful in-person events that SSP provides. While this is not the way that I would have imagined I would start the presidential year, it does not diminish in the least the absolute honor of this role. I started my career in scholarly communications in 2004 as an editorial assistant at Blackwell Publishing. And a couple of years later, then president and an honoree later today, Sue Kestner, encouraged me to join the organization. Getting involved with SSP, meeting so many smart, thoughtful, and dynamic individuals, navigating changes to our industry and to our world with the help of this community, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I can't imagine my career without it. It's a privilege to serve as your incoming president, and I will strive to have all members feel the same sense of pride and belonging in this organization as I do. Please be in touch with questions, feedback, or ideas. SSP exists for you, our valued community. Now, I'm happy to introduce past president and chair of the Nominating and Awards Committee, Adrian Stanley, for the presentation of awards.
Thank you, Lauren and Angela, and thanks everyone. And first off, like Angela, just wanted to do a huge shout out to the 250 plus volunteers that work and support SSP day in, day out. Again, it's not the same not being able to meet in person, but we're actually here now to celebrate and call out some of the exceptional service and contributions that a number of people have made. First off, I'd like to thank actually the awards and nomination committee members, which is Miranda Walker, Hillary Corbett, Lauren Kane, Greg Suprock, Michelle Norell, Melanie Dolacek, and Jackie Lord. We really worked greatly together as a team to go through different processes to identify candidates and review applications. And as the first part, I'd like to recognize Kelly Denzer and Barrett Winston, who were the co-chairs of the Career Development Committee and 2020 Fellowship winners. So I think we can move on, Melanie, to the fellowship. Yep. So every year around springtime, SSP awards 12 students and early career professionals, which is a highly kind of competitive process. There's around 100 applications every year for students in publishing, librarianship, information science, together with early career professionals. This year, normally we do bring the fellows to the annual meeting, and they meet and network. So this year we had to make the tough decision to defer that travel to the next year's annual meeting, which we're all hoping will take place. But do take time to kind of look and get to know these fellas if you can. These really are the kind of rising stars who will help come through and support SSP's growth and development. And in order from left to right, we have early career fellows, Melissa Cantrell from the University of Colorado Boulder, Hossein Fauzi, I hope I pronounced that right, an undergraduate journal of exercise science in Canada, Georgie Field from PLOS, Ellen Fox from the American Association of Immunologists, David Kim from Wiley, Christopher McKean from Cambridge University Press, George Neem from the BMJ, Sneha K. Rode, I hope I pronounced that as well, from Cabell's International, Michelle Uberg from ProQuest, Hannah Ventura from the University of Nebraska, Omaha. And then the last two, we have two students fellows. One who I know quite personally as well is Hannah Rahim from the University of Calgary and also the STEM Fellowship Organization, and Ji Young Wang from the School of Information Management in Wuhan University, China. So please do congratulate all these fellas, and if you have time to interact, please do. Okay, Melanie, I think we're on to the next slide. One thing that's quite sort of personal to myself, but also a number of SSP members. One of the SSP fellows from 2016, Mohammed Asadi Lahari, who I was actually paired with as the mentorship in the fellowship program, and I got to know him very, very well. Such a talented, amazing individual. He was also one of the co-founders of STEM Fellowship Group, a student-run organization in Canada. Unfortunately, Mohammed was tragically, and his sister were tragically passengers on the Ukraine International Airlines flight PS752 that crashed on the January the 8th in Tehran, Iran. It's hard to express the words of how much we miss Mohammed, but I also feel that he was able to achieve so much in his young life, and I hope we can follow his lead and footsteps and remember him always. So as part of the fellowship program, we just wanted to note that Mohammed is deeply in our thoughts, and wherever you are, we hope you're watching down on us and thinking about all the SSP fellows. Thank you. Okay, Melanie, I think we go to the next one. So we now move on to the SSP Appreciation Award. This was created in 2003. It recognizes the work of one or more members whose work over a short term, around 3 years, has benefited SSP and the scholarly communications field. This year, I'm pleased to announce that we have 2 winners. And really, this is just a small sense of gratitude for the work and contributions both of these have made. First off is Jeff Lang from the American Chemical Society. Jeff took on the job of organizing SSP's webinar program during his time on the Education Committee. The topics and the way that he's developed that program have really helped SSP, and Jeff's taken this to heart in his own leadership. I hope you're listening, Jeff. One of the things when we were telling Jeff he'd won the award was he just felt he knew that the webinar program could be something really great. He wanted to get involved and really take it to the next level, make it more engaging and meaningful. And I think everyone could testify that he's done that. So with your gusto and enthusiasm, Jeff, thank you for everything you do here, and the Appreciation Award, we hope will be in good place. And the second winner of the Appreciation Award is Gabe Hart from the MIT Press. Gabe's done an outstanding job of leading the philanthropic task force, the philanthropic fund, which will enable SSP to raise funds to support and make a difference in areas like fellowship, in mentoring, in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really help keep us leading the field in these areas and supporting our members and new members. Under Gabe's leadership, we're excited to be launching the Generation Fund very soon. Not too surprisingly, Gabe, you'll see earlier, has also been voted onto the SSP board. So I know SSP and the Generations Fund is going to be in good hands with Gabe, and I look forward to supporting that. Now I think we're going to hear a few words from Gabe that Melanie's just going to set up.
Hi everyone, this is Gabe Harp, dialing in from my pandemic basement. You know, I feel really undeserving of this award given how full SSP is of dedicated, committed, talented volunteers. I really find it quite inspiring. I think it's what makes SSP such a wonderful organization. I'm really proud to be a part of it. And, you know, I just want to thank everyone else out there for all of the time that they put into this organization. Especially at a time like this, you know, we can't ask more than what's reasonable of any of us when we're dealing with so much in our own personal and professional lives. But thank you all to everyone who's a part of SSP.
Thank you all to everyone who's a part of SSP.
Thank you so much, Gabe. That's really nice that again, SSP really embeds this feeling of camaraderie and family and friendship. I'm now going to move on to the Emerging Leader Awards, Melanie. The Emerging Leader Award was established in 2012. This award recognizes an SSP member working in the scholarly communications field for 10 years or fewer who's demonstrated their potential through outstanding service contributions for SSP committee, a task force, and within their field of work. Previous winners have included Sarah Rui, Phil Jones, Isabel Thompson, Laura Ricci, Michelle Norell, Emma Brink, and Hannah Heckner. So the two winners we have here are held in very high regard. The first winner I'd like to announce, if Melanie wants to move to the next page, is Ben Mudrak from the American Chemical Society. And I should say we as a nominations committee receive applications from a number of people, and Ben's application was put together by Kason Linley and Jarl Fitzpatrick, who were co-chairs with Ben on the annual meeting program committee. Anybody who was on that committee or interacted or has attended the annual meeting over the last 2 to 3 years will know what a great program they've made, but also just the work that Ben and his team have done together. Kason and Jarl both speak very highly of Ben, the fact he took leadership. He was always the first to draft session write-ups and take responsibility. Ben's also now, having finished being the co-chair of the annual meeting, has moved to be one of the co-chairs for SSP's education committee. He's also served as a mentor in the mentoring program and was heavily involved in implementing some of the first local SSP meetings in Durham, North Carolina. It's kind of a little funny story. When we were telling Ben that he'd won the award, Jarl and Kason helped set this up, the call, and we told Ben this should have been a finance committee call, and I think he would have helped and volunteered to join the call if he'd had a chance. So Ben, thank you for everything you've done for SSP and continue to do. I know you'll keep doing amazing things for us. And the second winner of the award is Simon Holt from Elsevier. Simon started his career in publishing at Taylor Francis as an editorial assistant, and then for Elsevier, rising the title of senior acquisitions editor. Simon currently serves on 2 SSP committees, the Scholarly Kitchen Cabinet and the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Committee. In both cases, Simon immediately became an active member, taking responsibility. Even when we told Simon he'd also won the award, his first comments were, how can I do more? How can you help me support to do more with SSP? You know, in the words of Sue Kessner, who is Simon's mentor through one of the SSP programs, Simon is an intelligent, good listener, an eager learner, and most of all, passionate, both about scholarly communications and about diversity inclusion for everyone, especially with those with disabilities. And I think Simon's done an amazing job to sort of shine the light on some of these hidden challenges that we see. He's also authored 2 Scholarly Kitchen posts. If you haven't read them, I would highly encourage you to do that. One is The Problem Solver You Don't Know About Yet, Valuing Disability in the Publishing Industry, and the other is On Being Accepted. And just to add from Sue's application, Simon's contributions, as do many of ours, really do make a difference. But a comment on one of the Scholarly Kitchen posts from someone called Gail Clement mentioned a heartfelt appreciation for shedding light on this important and often hidden topic of differently abled professionals and what they bring to academic and scholarly communications. So we were fortunate that Simon has dedicated time to SSP's community, accomplishments, and again, I'm sure Simon and both Ben will go on to keep contributing and really make SSP what it is today. So I believe we're going to hear some words from both Ben and Simon now, Melanie.
It's a really big honor to accept this award from SSP. The Society has been such a huge part of my career and my time in scholarly publishing for the past several years, and it's been just a genuine pleasure working with all the people on the committees and others in the staff and the organization, and I really look forward to the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much for making me the emerging leader for 2020. I feel incredibly proud and privileged to have received this award. I'd like to thank my wife Laura, Matthew Deans at Elsevier and Sue Kasner for the support and encouragement that they've given me over the past couple of years. I feel particularly proud to have won this award for the work that I've done in the area of diversity and inclusion. Similar to the COVID-19 crisis, I feel that diversity and inclusion is an area where publishers can work together in order to create a more progressive and inclusive industry, which is really what SSP is all about. I'm really sorry that we're not able to be there to celebrate together in person this year, but I'm really looking forward to meeting you all next year at conference. Thanks once again, and I'm looking forward to the work that we're going to do together with SSP and with C4 Disc in the year ahead.
Thank you, Simon and Ben. Look forward to working with you again in the coming years. Now we'll move on. We seem to be moving at a fairly rapid pace. We move on to the SSP Distinguished Service Award. This award was created in 2003 to replace the Presidential Recognition Award. It's given to a member for his whole work over an expended period of time, more than 3 years, on behalf of SSP and in the field of scholarly communications. So I'm proud to announce that this year's Distinguished Service Award goes to Byron Laws. This award acknowledges Byron's long-term service as a dedicated member for SSP, and many of us who have worked closely with Byron as his role as treasurer and really know how much he's helped keep SSP on the right track. He's been devoted, he's supported where our investments and our policies should be. And I think, you know, the treasurer's task often can be a thankless hidden task in some areas, but Byron's really brought to this role himself and what he believes in SSP. As part of Byron's also been part of the Finance Committee chair, which in the early days helped evolve and develop the philanthropic fund, and was separated out of the finance. But Byron has taken SSP's finance and you know, a number of years ago, SSP was operating at a slight loss, and we've been able to turn that around with the hard work of Melanie and all the team. But I really accredit Byron and his work here. But what also strikes me, and knowing Byron personally and having some wonderful chats and discussions with him, is Byron's also a true kind of leader and volunteer with SSP. He's made sure that up and coming people have been developed. He's supported Gabe Harp in his development through the finance committee and the new chairs there. He's been able to put people in place who've showed potential and support them. I know he'll do the same with Emily and the incoming treasurer. The only one thing I'm sad about, Byron, if I know you're there and listening, is at the President's Strategy Retreat, which is normally held over the summer. I'm only sad we weren't able to come and see you in Colorado, visit your newly formed Stillness Center retreat and get together there in person. But I know you have SSP at heart, and I'm thankful for everything you've done for us and with us all together as a board, a group. So I think you may want to say a few words, Byron, to that.
What does one say? Thank you, Adrian, my friend. I appreciate that. Appreciate the shout out for the Stillness Center. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. What an honor, and my heart is really full. It has been such a pleasure to serve. And I have to say that I have learned so very much. Many of you who have been around SSP for a while have had the dubious opportunity to see me up there at the business meeting every year talking about our financial results and our planning. And I came into this role with very little finance background. I'm a salesperson by trade, a marketing person by trade. And the process of learning how to keep the books and how to manage the investments and the oversight that's required in an organization like SSP has really given me a great depth of information and knowledge about finance. And I find people asking me for advice on their investments these days, which is a strange and interesting twist for me. So I have to say, what an honor. It has been a pleasure to serve. Grateful for all the things that I've learned. Certainly welcome Emily to the role. This will be a difficult year with the current situation that we're all going through health-wise, but I have no doubt that SSP will continue to be very strong. Look forward to seeing some of the things that we have set up over the last few years and how they mature and really begin to have effects for all of the membership and for SSP as an organization. And finally, just want to thank everybody. All of the people that I've gotten to know and the relationships I've built at SSP over nearly 20 years as a member have been so meaningful to me personally. I just have a great deal of love in my heart for this organization and everyone who is here and serves as part of it. We do great things together. So thank you again. What a wonderful honor. Thanks.
Thanks, Byron. I nearly had to get the tissues out there. That's quite an emotional moment, but you really have supported SSP well, and look forward to continue working with you. Okay, now we move on to our last award for the day from here is the Honorary Lifetime Membership Award. This is actually a new award for SSP. SSP did make the original founding members lifetime members for the 40th annual meeting anniversary. But now here, Sue Kessner, I'm proud to announce, is the first person to receive this new award outside of SSP's founding members. According to SSP's records and archives that Melanie helped find and uncover, Sue's been an SSP member since 1996, so she's into her 25th year of volunteering and supporting SSP. Sue is a past president, has won the Distinguished Service Award in 2015, and digging deeper into her volunteer history, Sue's actually been on 57 different either committees, roles, chairs, mentoring programs. So that's well over 2 a year. But that really doesn't tell the whole story about Sue. You know, she's so thoughtful. I remember when I was first joining SSP and I joined the annual meeting committee and Sue was the chair. And she's just so encouraging and welcoming and supportive of new members. It's not surprising that Sue's gone on to be a sort of serial mentor for SSP and also STM, supporting their programs. Many of you might not be surprised that Simon Holt, our Emerging Leader Award winner, was also mentored and is still mentored today by Sue. She really makes a difference to SSP and the whole member base. For Sue, I think like many of us, SSP is not only a place to volunteer and network with peers, but it also becomes a family and unit that we become to enjoy, we rely on, we look forward to meeting people. So on behalf of all of us at SSP, Sue, welcome to the Honorary Lifetime Member of SSP. You're definitely in our Hall of Fame for sure. So congratulations, Sue, for everything you do, and may you continue to help and support and work with SSP in a very active way. I think Sue's going to say something, right, Melanie? That concludes it to me. But again, thank you for all the members, all the people, and us, especially the awards and nominations committee that helped put this list together.
Hi, my name is Sue Kessner, and I'm here to thank you for the honor of receiving the Appreciation Award this year. When Lauren Kane called me a couple of weeks ago and shared that news, I must say I was really shocked and so pleased. So I want to thank you, Adrian Stanley, and your committee, your nominating committee, and Melanie, who does so much for this organization, and Lauren for your kind words. SSP is really a very special place, And for the first time, I am actually an individual member. I've always been a member of an organization. And I'd say within a few weeks of retiring, I filled out that form and thought, this is where I want to be. This is one of the places I want to spend some of my time in this next phase of my career. It strikes me that SSP has evolved in so many ways. You see it in the early career focus and the focus on inclusivity of all kinds and the growth of the numbers of committees and task force. But in so many ways, SSP has stayed true to the way it was 20 some years ago when I joined. It's a place where publishers and librarians and vendors and academics and others can come together and thrash out ideas and share thoughts and bring new ideas, try them out. But most of all, it's a place, I think, that fosters lifetime friendships, and that's been what's so special for me. So many thanks. I hope that we see each other next year in person at the annual meeting in Chicago. And in the meantime, I hope you all stay really very well. Take care.
Thank you very much, Sue, and thank you to Adrienne and the rest of the committee for your work in the nominating and awards for this year. This presentation today is a little overwhelming, if I'm being honest. SSP is in a moment of great momentum. While this pandemic has changed what SSP does or how we do it, it really can't change who we are. When the pandemic is over, we may look different. We may interact differently. We may need different things, but we'll still be friends and colleagues, mentors and mentees, educators and students. We will still seek counsel and support from each other. We'll still need opportunities to make connections to others in the communities we belong. And SSP will continue to be the home of these activities long after this pandemic is over. As the outgoing president, I want to thank you for your support of SSP and for giving me a chance to serve you. I want to give a special shout out to my family, my employer, and my coworkers for putting up with me and supporting me over this past year. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today and cheer on your fellow members as we celebrate their accomplishments. Go forth, be well, and stay safe. Thank you.